Welcome back to Factorio Seablock, and it's time to really rearrange this sign setup. It's horrible, and it's been annoying me for a few episodes now, but I've been wanting to get the wood system sorted out so that we got power. Well, at least that's slowly catching up on power. I haven't yet removed the algae farms from up there, but that is the next step to do on that side of things. But I do actually want to sort out the sign setup because to get even more wood, let me just actually go this way. To get wood, well, the 52 raw wood needs all the same stuff we already provide, except it needs tree arboretum 3. Now, tree arboretum 3 needs blue science. So we need to sort out our science anyway. And if we're going to do that, then at least let's separate everything out into sort of a nice segmented area. Now, science in Seablock is a little different than vanilla, if you've watched previous episodes. Essentially, we've got this process going here. This goes to this, goes to this, goes to this, into here, and then this goes to this, into here. So there's this two parallel things going on purely for red science. For yellow science, there's sort of a block of 3 going, and both of those are direct inserting to create yellow science. So that's more like traditional circuits in vanilla Factorio than anything else. So we're probably going to want yellow and red at some point. So let's go and have a look and have a play around. If we put our science labs up here, then that would sort of indicate we're going to have at some point, you know, yellow and red like it's going on onto this thing. So on one side, we're going to have yellow, and we just need iron and copper for that. And on the other side, we're going to need to be putting the red science, but we're also going to need iron, copper, tin, and lead for that. So we're going to need 4 metals to make that side of things. However, we can sort of work backwards. If we just create one of the blue assembly machines, we'll leave this where it is and recover those later. We can always reuse them. This just means I have something to refer to this by. So let's assume that we have, you know, our little red manufacturing there. To feed into that, actually needs 2 items. So we're fine with a single belt. And then backwards from there, however, we are going to need a few other things. So that's going to be yellow and red, isn't it? So yellow can be just a regular one. So let's just put that there, just so I'm reminded. And then we can just put 2 direct inserts on that, I think. I don't... yeah, some more saying, obviously, 90-degree inserters. I do use them. For example, here is actually faster than 180 degrees. Obviously, it doesn't have to turn as much. So if you have the technology, we may as well do that just to keep everything nice and fast. So if we just go onto here and say that, whoops, our pickup position is there. Yep, that's fine. And same thing on this one, our pickup position is there. We don't have the later technology yet of having all of these blocks filled in. We will have that, but we don't have it to start off with. The downside, of course, is that power isn't quite as nice. You can't put a power pole right in the middle there, but other than that, it does work fine. And of course, let's just put the power in here so it doesn't keep flashing at me. There we go. And we can just copy and paste these. Sort of means that we're going to need a line of iron and copper here on the right-hand side. I need to make some more transport belt. Capture some more of you. So we need iron and copper on this belt, and we're going to need iron and copper for some of the other processes. Now we need copper for this, and we need copper in here as well. So both of these lines will need copper. Iron and tin will need that. So I'm going to lay this out a little bit to get things sort of on the go. We're going to be making things on this side. And because both need iron and copper, then there's not really much I can do other than get everything sort of working backwards. So another assembling machine. And again, I will just make another blue one. This side needs all the metals. This one only needs 2, is it? Oh, is that right? Yeah, so why don't we put the iron and copper side of things, which is just these bottom 2, on this side, I want to say. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Let's just make sure that that goes on that side. We're going to use a couple on this side to feed into... in fact, we're not going to feed into that. We're just going to dump straight on the belt. Okay. And on this side, then, we need to feed in all the other stuff. And that's probably why I should move it one further over. because we're going to have 2 belts running in here somewhere. Interesting. Let me rework that a little bit. Yeah, that should be fine, at least for this initial setup. So let's just make sure I've got a power pole in here. And then everything else is just linear, so we can just put stuff in going back this way. There we go. And then I guess copy that one, and that one, and that one. Okay, and these will need to have power. Okay, now if you wonder what the belts there in the middle are down, they're going to be iron and copper on this right hand side, and they're going to be tin and lead on this left hand side. So once we've finished removing all this stuff, we'll feed the lead and the lead and the tin on the iron and the copper onto belts, and have the belts act instead of these boxes as buffers. We should be able to use that science really well. Now, of course, the iron and the lead are going to be going this way. There we go. And then I'm going to be providing that to yellow science. So let's get that going as well. I'm going to need a few inserters, so let's make quite a few. The only part of this that we can't entirely automate, just because it's all the way to the other side of the factory, is one of these needs circuit boards, I think. This one. This needs circuit boards, so until we get bots, it's going to be quite hard to get circuit boards over here. So I'm just going to remind myself by putting a box there, and these basic circuit boards are what it'll need. So we're going to make sure that's provided. All of these have ingredients to be able to be provided, and they're also going to need direct insertion that way. I'm even going to need even more inserters. That needs to go underground, because I need to output. There we go. And there we go. So we need 2 inserters there. 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's just go and grab some more of you. And then everything should be fine. We should be able to just feed other stuff onto the lines. And then we can move the science labs, of course. So we should just be able to put the science labs up here somewhere. We're probably going to bring in blue science from over here, maybe. So we're going to want to leave, space for another line there, something like that. Will do. So let's just get these inserters in place. There we go. And I think that's it, apart from power, of course. And one more power pole. I can make more. I don't have any cellulose fiber or wood bricks on me. That's fine. So now we can just move the science labs, and we can grab all of the science off here. Make sure these are cut off essentially, because we don't need them anymore at all. I'll just keep those boxes there for a second. Let's go and quickly grab everything else, and this should clean up really, really nicely. More importantly, I should get quite a bit of space for our furnace setup, so we're going to have to improve those labs, make them into the tier 2 labs, but other than that, that is fine. And I don't need to worry about anything else around here. I don't think we can come back for it, but I'll just take the... Oh, my inventory's full. All of those things had ingredients in them, which was wonderful. I need to dump that somewhere, don't I? Let me sort that out. 1 second. Okay, here we go. So I've cleaned up this whole area. We've got just iron and copper coming out here, and that needs some more fuel. Just go keep producing, please. And let's just take these boxes out now that they will be no longer fed. These we can feed back onto the line with inserters, just as a temporary thing to get everything back flowing. Not so much for this one though. That's slightly annoying. I'll figure that out later. Not going to do it right now. And let's just pick up, and that will work fine. So that's going to feed tin back onto the line. And then we just got 2 belts. This one's shared. Later we'll do something else with that, of course, because we're going to have a lot more need for iron and copper for other reasons. Let's feed that you in, and you can come across. Need a few more. and then everything should start working. We've already made some, I believe. So let's just, there we go. Okay, so what's queued up? You're taking copper, that's fine. You are going to be taking the output this and producing, you're fine. And what about this side? We're going to need something to reach over, aren't we, and grab the other belt. Don't need it for this side, but we are going to need it for that one. So let's just grab a few of these. And do you need anything from the other line? No, it doesn't look like you do. The only ones who need it are you and not even you. You don't need it. You, however, do. Okay, so let's just pick up from 2 and actually just make sure it tries to drop 2 away so it doesn't try to change its length. There we go. And now they all should be feeding each other. The only remaining thing is, of course, this basic circuit boards, but I've mentioned that already. And you should start producing anytime soon. There we go. So that should start kicking off, red science. Yellow science should be met. Yep, that is going to work fine as well. The other thing, of course, is that now this buffer is going to take a while to fill, which means we're going to be using all of our iron and copper until that buffer fills. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine. So I'm just going to leave that there as a reminder, just so I need a second belt. I'm not going to put it in for now. Can we actually make blue science yet? Let's take a look at... it's not called blue science, is it? That's going to really annoy me. It's... scroll down. Uni-lived atomic manipulator. You know, I swear these developers are trolling us. See, you can't even search for that. How about pack? Yeah, you can search for pack, that's fine. Even though they're not called packs. Okay, so we've probably got quite a bit to go before we can get to this from the looks of it. We need advanced electronics. What does advanced electronics need? Advanced electronics. That's wonderful. It doesn't find exactly what we want. We're looking for something that looks like a transistor. Advanced electronics 2, advanced electronics 1, unavailable. It needs 200, and it needs plastics. From here, it needs electrolysis. It needs resin. So resin. Oh, that's another way of getting. Oh no, hang on. That's another way using urea gas that we were already creating for the fertilizer. That's a pretty good idea. Liquid resin. Let's go back one. Plastics is going to be useful anyway, isn't it, for a whole bunch of different things. So we need to do that. Again, they're all yellow and red science. And electrolysis 2 doesn't really get as much, but it's one of the prerequisite steps, and it only takes a little bit of yellow and red. So we may as well kick them on. And we've got our labs up and running. They are all taking ingredients. So that's science redone. And now what I'm probably going to do at some point is rework those furnaces. You've seen it already though, so all I may do is just move these into separate blocks and have that working much better. This is a very startup setup. We need the actual the furnace setups, the blast furnaces, and that will take me a little bit of time to rework. However, in the meantime, let's go and quickly take a look at the rest of the factory. We've got this providing slag, which is producing me a lot of landfill, a fairly large amount of landfill. Yeah, there's 600. I had a couple of thousand I was using to expand this area, so I'm quite happy with the landfill so far. Up here, however, I don't think we need all of this stone. You see all of this that we could be using for slag production, and we just need something to turn into slag there, I think, if we want more landfill. Or we could just turn this off entirely. At the moment, it seems to be pretty much disabled, which is probably a good idea. Yeah, we're not using much power at all because it's mostly being fed now, hopefully, by our wood system. Yeah, the wood is backed up. It should be input priority left here, so it should be feeding from the wood system first. And the rest of the system is pretty much at capacity, it looks like. These are blocked on their outputs. We could just change these to nearsided, but that wouldn't last for very long. or shouldn't last for very long, I should say, because it's feeding straight into these. So we may want to see if we can try and speed those up. We can do that quite easily, so we can speed both of those. And it's the input that's slow, so we can go on to fast inserters. And we can even go 90 degrees if we wanted to speed that up even more. But they're already more than fast enough. See, it's filled up so that that one's permanently on. So if I then just amend this one, add a fast inserter as well, what should happen then is, well, it'll probably break this system. When I say break, it's not so much a break as it will just fill it up. That's half a belt. Let's just make sure that these are doing that things a little bit more fair. And something like that. So they'll fill up an entire belt, which going down here is gonna pile back. So I may need to put more furnaces or rearrange these a little bit to do near-sided. But near-sided, no, that's not really going to help because this is full all the way down to here. So we are pretty much using all of this, and these are at full capacity now. Is that full? Yeah, that's full. So our entire power system is pretty great right now. We're also obviously occasionally getting the oil-produced solid fuel. There we go. Electrolysis 2. Do I want plastics? Plastics 1? Or plastics? That would appear to be just different research. We get plastic pipe. Although we don't really have that much oil to be able to deal with it at the moment, so it's just really a prerequisite step. Is there anything else we can get in the meantime that'll improve things for us? What I think will help us most right now is to increase the amount of ore we're actually producing. I have just cut that off from our science system just so I can see what rate it's at. It's pretty low. It looks like we can just scale up, but there is a bit of a wrinkle. Let's just actually grab that steel and put some more in. The wrinkle is over here. If we have a look at these, you'll see that 2 of them are on, 1 of them goes off occasionally. It's not getting enough mineral sludge. That's coming back from this system, and they're fine, except that they're not getting enough input. They're not getting enough slag slurry. These generate the slag slurry, but they do so by using sulfuric acid, which comes straight from sulfur, which comes out of this right here, except that that is only being fed by this washing plant at the moment. And the washing plant is going at full speed. It's not inhibited by anything, but it is pretty slow. Yeah, it's pretty slow by comparison. So we've got to deal with that somehow. What I think we should do is right here, we've got this sulfuric wastewater, and right now I've got an overflow valve and I've got a clarifier, so I'm throwing it away. I think we can turn that into sulfur using a hydro plant. You're going to need iron and electronic circuits. Circuits we should be able to get to be made. Oh, there's some over here already. Let's just grab those. And I need to make sure I put some more copper in the top there. There we go. Gives me a bit more inventory space, but also get some basic circuit boards. Okay, so where was I? Yes, stone was it? It's hydro. What did it need? Iron. That's fine. We're going to get iron. And what I think we can do is take the sulfuric wastewater, turn it back into sulfur, and then we'd reuse that clarifier to throw everything else away. And we need some more fuel for our copper furnace. We're going to need to replace those with blast furnaces, of course, but we do need a bit of steel for that. So I'm going to go and grab the steel in a second. Before I do that, though, let's bring that down that brush size. Can we fit a hydro plant in here? Kind of nice if we could. May not be possible, but we can at least try. We need iron. How much iron do I have now? 31. Is that enough? Hydro? Hydro. Yes, it is enough. Yeah, we don't have any other options. Let's make that. And hydro plant? Oh, I already had one. Of course I did. So what we need to do is, I don't necessarily want to put the outputs. The outputs are going to be liquid, of course, here. So I may need a bit more space. Yeah, I may need a little bit more space. Let's give this a go, though. Let's try and put it there. And we want the sulfur recipe. There it is. So it'll produce sulfur. It'll produce a couple of other outputs. And we need sulfuric wastewater, which I have here anyway. Yeah, here it is. So we can maybe feed it in there. Is that going to be a problem with the water? With the landfill even? Bring that down. Do you still work? I really hope you still work. Yeah, okay. Let's assume you do. I know that's probably a bad thing to say. Let's just actually make some stone pipe. And we can bridge them once it finishes making me. Oh, let's use copper for now. There we go. So this is going to make sulfur a whole lot faster. So we're going to then need to feed this out somewhere. So let's just put in a little bit more land, and then we'll rework where our clarifier is based on that. Hopefully that's enough room for the clarifier. Okay, and if it fills up, it fills up. It doesn't matter. Oh, well, it shouldn't actually ever fill up. But yeah, so we need to clarify the outputs here. I don't think we've got any use for the two other things, the purified water and mineralized water. We don't really need any of that. So can I just put the clarifier back and feed both of them in here? Oh, of course I need a little bit more landfill. Yep, there we go. Let's get the clarifier back in. Actually, move it up by one. Yeah, and what I'm just wondering is if we can just use polluted pipes to do this or not. It would be nice if we could. Let's just fill in this little bit of land. If it clarifies quickly enough, hopefully that will just work. And we want some power somewhere. Will it stretch? No. Fine. Let's go across. No. That's annoying. I really need two clarifiers for that? Okay, fine. Clarifier. Needs more iron. Of course it does. Let me get that up and running. In fact, we can just feed in the sulfur now. It'll be fed from here to here. Actually, why can't I step? Oh, that's water. That's why. I need to be able to step between these things. Yeah, so we should be able to feed it directly over the top of this pipe. If we just set you to pick up and drop. No? Oh, you're the output. We need to, yeah. I need to feed it into that box right there. So we just need an underground right around. Is that going to feed in? No, I'm going to need to. There we go. And then I'm going to have to just do something weird just to get it to pick up from there, drop it there. Yep, that's correct. So then we can just put you in. And this will feed in sulfur to the rest of the system. Then all we need to do is just make sure the clarifier is done on the other side, which may be quite quick. Let's just do that off camera. There we go. Sulfur being our washing plants for this whole process, and the clarifiers will just lose anything extra that's produced quite easily. So that's pretty good. A lot already, so we may have to scale the rest of the system. However, at the moment, the yellow indicates it's all the outputs that's logged, that's blocked. So yeah, these are green and occasionally yellow, which means we need to scale it further down here. Both of these are green perpetually, so that is good. However, we are probably going to need... Ooh, actually, they start to build up. Is that because I've cut something? Oh, it's because I've cut the fuel. I've got no fuel. Oh, let's just grab a few stacks of fuel, considering that just piles up like crazy. And let's make sure all of those are fed. Yeah, it's purely the copper that's holding things back. That's fine. So from now, all we need to do really is make sure these scale up. They should have enough mineral sludge behind them now. And all I need to do then is scale up with a blast furnace on this side. And I think we've just got to Mark II. Sorters. Let's just take a look at Mark II. Yeah. Breaks, but we've not got the steel. So we need to do that. So between the episodes, I'm going to convert to black blast furnaces. You've seen that before in the other series, so I don't want to show you blast furnaces again. All that we need to do is just take these two furnaces out, put a blast furnace in, which is, you know, a straightforward item. It actually needs more iron. Fair enough. And from that, we'll go into an induction furnace, and from that into casting machines, and they will output onto a belt, just regular iron plate, just like this. Except we'll get more out of it, and that will be pretty cool. Same thing with copper. I may need to move these two out to get more space, but that's all relatively straightforward, isn't it? I don't think you need to see that on camera. And next episode, we'll come back and maybe, well... Do you want to do more furnace stuff? I'll maybe take a break and move on to another part of the system. I think what I'll probably do is try and move the algae farms out in between the episodes as well, or at least at the start of next episode, and then hopefully we can run everything off this wood system, with the exception of that 52 wood recipe that would make it better. If you've seen anything in the episode that you want to comment on, or you think I'm doing something wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, and of course, if you have ideas of what should be next, feel free to let me know there, or indeed the other commenters as well, who will be maybe following along. We'll see. But we've got a nice science set up. It's not producing much red science at the moment. Is that because it's out of... Yeah, it's because it's out of circuit boards, and I have some in my inventory, but it will use them up pretty fast. You can see the tin and the lead are just not used up anyway, nowhere near as much as the iron is. And of course, I had that just stopped for a few minutes while I made some steel. But I need to do that now. Let's put some more steel on burn. Fine. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you next episode. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe as normal. And we'll see you then.